minutes and you're sober. I was driving all the way frantically.
Back here again, we are going to be working on trying to finish up as much as possible on getting this engine ready and buttoned up so we can start putting the clutch, flywheel, all the bits and bobs on the back of the motor, cleaning up that, get the transmission on, and hopefully get it back in the car today if we are lucky. We'll see how fast things can move along, but first we need to get started. So set everything up and get going. So we got a major fuck up. That wasn't my fault, but also is slightly my fault, and I'll explain why. So I'll explain to me first. I should have checked the part before installing it. All right, I'm taking the L on that. It's fucking stupid. So here's the old water pump here. And this is a 1.8 pump. It has a tab for the alternator bracket. And I should have fucking looked. And you'll notice there's no fucking tab here. And I didn't fucking compare the parts before I installed it. So now I literally have to take apart the entire front of the motor and replace the water pump again. Absolutely fucking infuriated on that because literally this motor is just about to be done. Not even exaggerating. So, found out the person that got me the parts, I kind of gave them more of the benefit of the doubt, and I trusted that he got the right pump. He ordered a 1.6 pump, so it's technically a Miata pump, but it doesn't have the alternator bracket because they mount differently for the motor. So I am very, 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 very fucking pissed off right now because now I have to take apart the entire front of the motor again, and it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work, a lot of wasted time. I was hoping to have this done today. It's not gonna be done today now. So we're gonna go reverse process, replace the bump, then go front. Bear with this stupid process. Alright, I don't know where the time-lapse left off. The battery died, so I had to plug it back in. So we had a lot of fun today. Had to go backwards to go forward because of an issue with the water pump. I believe I just explained earlier. Hopefully I did. The whole wrong water pump. Found out it was the wrong one, but I had to go back to go forward. That's all in together. The engine's back together now. And then everything's back together on the floor here. We just did the rear main seal on here. Just gonna clean the back of this. Get the flywheel, clutch assembly and everything all buttoned up on here. And we should be hopefully good to put the transmission on shortly on this 1.8. NB N8 conversion setup. So everything's looking good so far. Hopefully everything will be Gucci and wrapped up tonight. And then I guess the next time I'm in tomorrow, hopefully be able to drop it in. I think tomorrow we'll be able to drop it in. So I think we'll finally be able to wrap this up and button up all the buttoning up shit in the engine bay, all the fluids and whatnot, and take her for a rip. So let's finish up the last of the shit tonight and head on out because it is 1:17 and we're almost done. Okay, so another crazy long day. We've been working on the fuck up motor with the whole water pump issue. I've already explained that multiple times. Still salty about it.
It's only a game. Why you have to be mad?
But anyways, Rick's been trooping with me here today, hanging out, doing some fun shit on motors and whatnot. So we went through, we got the water pump replaced properly with the proper water pump. Thankfully we had one on hand. The other one is a 1.6 water pump. That was the issue. He ordered the wrong part. He showed me the invoice. It was his screw up. I'm taking the partial L on it still. I should have checked the part. Check your parts before you install them. Saves you trouble. You wouldn't have had to fucking redo the whole goddamn thing. But whatever. Is what it is. Regardless of all that, I still got everything together today. It is 3:30 in the morning. It's been a long day. Then again, we also did waste a lot of time. Me and Rick go whining and dining.
Well, then could we at least pull up here and get some dinner? Because I like to be wined and dined after I've been fucked!
So, I need to blow off steam. Transmission's on, new clutches in and everything. She's basically all together and just about ready to go back into the NB. So, hopefully tomorrow is the last day we have to work on this thing where all we have to do is button up just a bunch of little shit on what's left, drop it in, get her all wired up and whatnot, and hopefully good to go. And then we're on to doing the same fucking thing to another silver NB because NBs will not stop blowing their fucking motors. So, again, I will see you tomorrow. And we're back for yet another tomorrow. So, what are we doing today? Well, we are going to be trying to get this motor, transmission and everything, final pieces buttoned up that need to be done on it, and then dropped into the NB. So, trying to figure out what we got left. Looking at the table, honestly, I think we have everything buttoned together. I just have, looks like one hose for the back of the motor, O2 sensor, the exhaust and cat. Since it's an NB, I believe I need to put it on the engine before I put the engine in. It's not like the 1.6 where you can just drop it in afterwards. And then last is like fluids, the radiator intake and all that assembly stuff that goes afterwards. So I think we're in the home stretch. So let's get cracking and start seeing what we need to do. I'll probably start putting the exhaust on and whatnot, and we'll get ready to put her on in. Alright, I'm taking a moment for a break. Trying to get the motor in and it's fighting me on fitment. MBs are always like this. They're fucking the exhaust and shit like that. It's much tighter and doesn't want to sit right with that. It's so much easier with the second hand because like one person can operate the crane while the other person does positioning. So it's gonna take me a little bit longer with one person. It's starting to get aggravating because it's that time of the day where the sun, as you can see right behind me, is setting and like acting like a greenhouse magnifying glass, and it's fucking cooking me while I'm in front of the car. So I'm just gonna chill in front of the fan and cool off a little bit so I don't get too aggravated. Yeah, I fucking hate this time of the day. It's unfortunate, like whoever set up the shop, of course, set up the fucking shop in the direction of the goddamn sun setting in the window. Couldn't you turn it the other way? Come on, man. I don't know. It is what it is. Anyways, take a little break. So we made some really good progress there.
That's a spicy meatball!
A little bit of a slowdown because the motor mounts that he gave me for this build, these are Rev Sport, fucking, I don't know, some Rev something, Rev Shift motor mounts. They're like green hockey pucks. Fucking like calling your name ones. You might be able to see it down there. Anyways, they have some interference going in. Couldn't even put in the factory motor mount, I would say cups. So they have to be unscrewed. You can unscrew the studs to get them in there because they're so large. So I had to actually unscrew one of the studs on one side, put one in on the other side, and then screw the other one by hand after I lined up everything. And I put the, I actually had to hook up the transmission, get the transmission up, then do the motor mount on that side. That way it was as level as possible, and then I could shift it, center it in. So that was a little bit of a fight, but we're Gucci now. Exhaust is hooked up, the motor is chilling, it's mounted up, motor mounts are torqued up, the transmission PPF is hooked up and torqued up, so it's now level and everything. So this motor is chilling in its home now. And now we're in the process of, we just gotta hook everything up, and we should hopefully be able to actually test this thing and hope that we don't have to take it back out, because that would suck. Because I have not done a NA NB conversion yet. So this is an interesting project, long project, but it's not too complicated. It's just, you know, a little bit here and there. I mean, it's still taking apart and rebuilding a motor, like in a half sense. So it's a lot of work still. All right, what's left on the list is mainly buttoning up the last of the wiring. So I have like here, this is one of the main wire harnesses. Bring over here, hook up all these sensors, bring it over. Radiator dropped in, hooked up, intake, bring it over. Cooling hoses, power steering has to be pre-hooked up, plumbed. Heater core hoses. Oxygen sensor's got to be hooked back up, put in. And after I'm done buttoning up everything there, that's when I go back under and I can do the drive shaft and the differential. So I gotta torque the crank pulley, so I guess I'm gonna have to lower the sway bar to do that since I put the motor in, and I can go from there. I don't have a flywheel lock for this motor style yet. I should try to make one or buy one, see if we can get that way. We can do it on the stand. I'd have preferred to done it on a stand, but I guess it is what it is. Yeah, I might have to do the classic method and just hop it into gear and whatnot. So I might actually have to go back up. I should probably do the drive shaft first. That way I can hook up everything to the wheels, and then that way I can lower the sway bar and torque the crank before I forget it, because that's a very important step, because I have to do that before I put all the radiator shit back in. So I guess let's work on that first. So I'm gonna bring it back up, put the drive shaft in, torque up the drive shaft and everything, and then we can do the crank pulley bolt.
3 hours later. One eternity later.
Lift as fuck. Okay, moving along. We got past a couple of hurdles, and we have the motor in the car at the moment. Where we have crank just got torqued. That's a great sign too, because that means the drivetrain is connecting together. We have the transmission in gear at the moment, the drive shaft's hooked up, and the differential, so it's always a great sign that everything's communicating with that. I need to rehook up the clutch and bleed the hydraulics for that. I need to hook up like fuel, starter, alternator, all that type of shit. Get that going. Get the wiring harness, hook up all those bits and bobs there. Now that the crank's been torqued up, I can put the sway bar back up over here, and then gotta get the plumbing for power steering. Exhaust has been already done. The only thing I gotta do is get the O2 sensor for here, run that up. That'll be the last of that. I got the other O2 sensor already hooked up, which is right here, which is fantastic. That one went in, no problem. We have a vacuum line, something over there. Cruise control, that's right. Alright, so yeah, everything's coming along fantastic. If we steam along on the last bits and bobs of this all the hookup, we should be able to test fire this bad boy tonight, possibly. I just gotta put, and then the last thing I gotta put is oil in the engine. I already threw the oil filter on there during assembly. Transmission's already got its fresh fluid, and the differential already has its fresh fluid as well. So we're coming along very good, very, very good. We should not have too much left. Definitely should not have too much left. Then I just have like a couple bits and bobs in the interior to put back together for the shifter assembly, which is really quick and simple, which is great on the Miatas. And yeah, so let's get cracking on the final whole assembly to see if we can button this up tonight. I think if we get another solid hour or two into this, we might be able to finish it. I just took a quick food and drink break, so let's get back into wrenching. Okay, so it's been a long night. Everything's been finished up on here. Don't mind me, I'm a mess right now. It's really late. It's like 3:10 in the morning right now, so I gotta clean up and get the hell out of here. Another late night. Anyways, the conversion was an absolute success.
Yes, 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 yes. Yes.
From the NA to NB motor, where it's using the NA block with the NB head. Just changing over all the little bits and bobs. Everything worked out absolutely fantastic. So, I'll probably run down a little bit here and there on some stuff about that, but let's check out the car. Everything is running good. It has got a lot of MVH because he opted for very stiff motor mounts on this thing, and oh boy, do they rattle or vibrate. Not rattle, definitely vibrate. But she starts up and drives very well. I just took her for a test drive. Starts up very, very good. Sounds healthy. So she has 184,000 miles on the chassis. It's actually in very, very good condition for its age. But went through all the gears and everything. Definitely shifts very nicely. All the fluids have been changed in service. It's running on Redline fluid. It's got a brand new clutch in it. It's all Exetti parts. We made sure, well, at least I made sure I made him order the correct stuff. I had him order a better pilot bearing and a better throwout release bearing. So this thing should last longer too, because the ones they put in the box are crap. Clutch has been bled, so it feels good. It's got good pressure to it. Engine sounds very good. Just has interior vibration because the motor mounts are like straight mounting the motor to the chassis, so this bad boy makes some vibrations. Like the idle, if you've ever sat in a car with like very stiff motor mounts, the idle is just like, it's nature of the beast when it comes to that. But otherwise everything is like fantastic on the thing. So it was nerve-wracking, but everything came out very, very good. Did all the pressure testing on everything. So coolant system is not leaking or anything like that. Gets the operating temperature. It's just one of those things where it's like, it's scary after a long project too. And especially I had to take it apart twice because of the whole water pump fuck up. Where I got the wrong water pump and now I have the right one at least, because thankfully we had a spare. But otherwise, yeah, this has been a long project and I have to do it again.
I'll fucking do it again. Okay,
not as in-depth on this, not as crazy, because it's a personal car in our fleet, not a customer car. This is a customer car, so this one had to be, you know, give it my all, make sure everything is top-notch quality. Everything's been gone over nut and bolt, everything's been cleaned and put back in properly. So like the engine bay as well, like, looks very, very good. So bring it on over to the engine bay. She sounds good too. She's nice and quiet. Exhaust is definitely working, which is fantastic. Engine bay running nice and smooth. Everything nice and clean. Got the service record. And the timing companies get done next. That's done. Overall, very good. It's not been modded out. It's just a painted valve cover and a aftermarket breather tube hose. But yeah, I had to replace a couple things here and there, some used hoses or whatnot that we had laying around. But otherwise, very, very good. Very happy with that. And anytime a customer comes to me and I service their vehicle, I will be throwing in at least one little thank you, and it's a Hot Wheels car. And I always grab a mystery question, and the question was a row of vehicles. David picked the AE86 out of the lineup that I had, so congratulations, David, on your AE86. Hope you enjoy it, and I hope you enjoy your refresh, rebuilt car. No more engine knock. So alright guys, I am tired as hell. I'm cleaning up and packing up, and I'm heading home. So this has been a long journey on this build, and we're going to be doing it again soon. There's legit a rooster out there. Jeez. Here with Al, we are on our way to deliver Dave's Miata today. We are actually in the process of doing a drop-off because he couldn't find a ride. So we turned this into a little bit of a road trip. And yeah, car's running good. It's gonna go to back to its home, and no more road knocking. So almost there. Enjoy the ride.